Hey Tom, I'm just going to answer your questions in a video because my brain can't look at a screen or type anymore. So I'll just answer them and do with it information what you would like. The nature of my job and how I would explain the types of things you do every day. So the nature of my job, I'm the instructional design coordinator, so I provide supports to, excuse me, I provide supports to the faculty and staff of the College of Public Health, both the academic side of it and then the professional side of it. We also have a Center for Public Health Practice, which provides training and resources and courses to practicing public health professionals. So I support both of those, although 90 or 95% of my job is the academic side. And I help instructors use technology to engage students in the classroom. So in the classroom or online. So that often ends up being like helping them with Canvas and how to use Canvas, but it's also more than that. It's instructors that come to me and say, hey, I kind of want to do this cool, interesting thing in my classroom. And how can I do live polling? How can I use visual sticky boards? How can I do a video project? How can I create a virtual tour, right? So it's like innovation in the classroom, whether it's in a distance delivery course or in the actual classroom. So every day is real different. It just depends. Sometimes I am working with a faculty member who will be putting a course online in an upcoming term, and we're somewhere in our course design process, or it's people stop by my office and say, help, the file doesn't work and I'm trying to upload something, or I have a couple students that are sick and I need to differentiate my exam and I don't know how to do that in Canvas. So it's troubleshooting day-to-day kind of things. It's also helping students that get kind of stuck. They might say, hey, I have a video assignment and I'm supposed to upload a video and I don't know how to do it. Can you help me do that? So it's a combination of planned items that have been project managed and then putting out sort of day-to-day fires. And then sometimes it's just chatting and being creative about like what are some cool things we want to do. My direct supervisor is Dr. Michael Besesi, Bisesi .12, and he is amazing. We have been working together for 5 years and it's been a dream the whole time. And I don't say that sarcastically. I say that truly. He has, from day one, I arrived at the College of Public Health to someone that sort of had a vision for online learning and distance education. And as things change and we sort of grow in our practice, our online course offerings have only increased and only gotten better, and the things that we do with technology have only increased and gotten better. And that, in my mind, is extremely largely in part due to Dr. Besesi, because if you don't have support from leadership, it's really hard to go very far. And he's been supportive not only for me, but for faculty and staff from day one. So he truly is a dream. I'm not getting paid to say that. A snapshot of what my life has been like since. So my hair was not gray before. Just kidding. What my life has been like. I maybe kind of saw this coming, and I'm on a team, Microsoft Teams chat group, sort of with a couple of other instructional designers that are my buddies and my lifeline and my support. And they are Jay Shao from Vet Med and Diana Palmer from Social Work, Kelly Cutt from Social Work, Byron Roush from Social Work, and Aaron Carpenter from John Glenn, and then Elizabeth Flansburgh Cruz, who is she's an instructional designer that works with me, and we share her part-time with Vet Med. That team, who I talk to daily, for a year or so, a while back, probably in February, kind of said, hey, we're watching this whole COVID thing, right? And being in public health, I was watching it too. What are your plans for contingency? And so we got together with them. I had started to brainstorm and work with them, with that team, to come up with a loose framework on how we would provide training and supports and convert these courses. So my life has been crazy and hairy, I guess, but I started planning a while back, at least in my head, sort of loosely planning. When I plan, typically I plan out a timeline and I plan out an estimate amount of time and then I try to double it. In this case, I tried to triple everything that I was planning because I knew things would go haywire. So it's been insane. I mean, the short answer to that is it's been completely insane. And I'm working a lot of crazy long hours, but so is everybody else. So I'm just, as people try to figure out, it's not only how to use the technology, how to use Canvas or how to give a quiz or how to use Zoom and do a lecture. It's really a lot of trying to figure out who you are now as an online instructor as compared to a classroom instructor. And I think, and just the conversations that I've had with some of the faculty, that's kind of the biggest piece. Is it's almost like developing a new identity in a real quick time frame, and that's challenging. So a lot of the conversations I have, some of them are certainly about how to use the technology, but some of the questions have been like, well, how do I connect with my students? And, I can look at a classroom and see when no one's getting it. How do I do that online? So it's been busy, but it's not just been tech support because there's a lot of resources for that already, right? OD is tons of resources. There's lots of people that have resources. It's just a different kind of busyness. But I will say it has been an intense shift. There's this funny meme that's going on. I saw it on Twitter, and it's like, I could probably send it to you. It's this, I can't remember who, I think it's Keanu Reeves and like someone else, and it's like two instructional designers high-fiving each other, and they're like, we got this, right? We've been waiting for this our whole lives. So, right, this is my job. It's just my job, like, intensified. How many of instructors have I helped during that time? Wow, are you kidding me? So, I don't know the answer to that. I will give you just a general number. We have 81 classes that we're offering this spring semester. 11 of them were already fully online, and so that left another, I guess, 69 or so that we had to convert. And again, I say we because Elizabeth Flansburgh Cruz was an immense help, and I could not have done this without her. We developed, we went through and evaluated and assessed all of the courses. We took a look into the shells. Some of them were further along and really had a lot of the content, but maybe no overview pages or information on how to guide students through the actual course, right? Because just putting your files up on Canvas is akin to handing students a giant chunk of paper and then just walking away, right? So a lot of the people had the papers, but they didn't have instructions on how to help students navigate the content in their courses. Some courses had nothing, and they hadn't even published their Canvas courses. So there was sort of a continuum of need, and what Elizabeth and I decided to do, and again, this is what was a lot of Elizabeth's idea, to create a template for modules, which we have in all of our courses anyway. All of our online courses use the College of Public Health Canvas template, but we put blank templates in all of our courses, all 69 courses, and then we gave instructors instructions on how to use and build all of the items in those pages. The other thing we did is we created our own resource site because Keep Teaching from ODE was a really big endeavor, and theirs is definitely far more robust than mine, but we created a more simple, succinct guide for our people, for our faculty and staff. So we put in templates, we created a guide, and then we started a blog that has daily or weekly posts of ideas. And we have also been adding to the Canvas Commons so that we will put sample assignments in the Commons that instructors can actually just copy and paste into their course. So this takes away a little bit of the pressure of, if we propose an idea of something that we like or that they like, but they don't know how to actually build that out in Canvas, we have done that for them. So it's a small collection. We're working on that. What's been the biggest challenge? What's been the biggest surprise? Two things that I can think of that have been challenging, right? There's amazing technology out there and a lot of ways to do really great things. For me, when I think of online course design, I think of not perfection, but I have a sort of standard in my head. So for me, the biggest challenge was a mind shift a little bit, to the realization that we're not trying to achieve the highest quality online course ever offered. As much as that is the heart of what I do, that is not the current need in front of me. What the need in front of me is to help instructors give their students access to content and to learn to teach from a distance and in ways that are different from them. So that was the biggest challenge for me, is sort of the mind shift. I kind of had to let that go. The other thing that was kind of a challenge is, again, a lot of this was a mind shift for me, but I had to, I did some of this work, and we'd put the templates in, and then I'd check a couple days later, a week later, and I'd see, well, you know what, these instructors, like these 5 instructors, haven't done anything. And it took me a heartbeat to realize that the reason they hadn't is because the people in public health, that they're people on the front lines, right? So and maybe these instructors aren't building their Canvas course because they are clinicians or physicians, and they've been in the hospital saving lives for the last 2 weeks. So, that's really where their priority is right now. So I've had to shift that a little bit and then make that part of the conversation, because then we got to thinking, well, of course, if the public health faculty and staff are in the front lines, so are our students. And even if they are not, they are struggling with other things like no access to data, limited data, taking care of ill families, struggling with loss of job or income rate. There's a lot of factors. So the biggest challenge really was, I think, for me, having to shift my brain a little bit and reframe what the goal and the intention is of this semester. The biggest surprise. The biggest surprise, I don't even know. I will say, I don't even know if it's a surprise, but it's been it makes my heart happy. I say this a lot, but how willing people are or have been to share resources and support and materials. Again, I mentioned this little instructional design group that I work with, and it's just a constant share fest where they're like, did you see this resource? Look at this interactive tool. Are you on this listserv? And people that have just been willing to help and contribute and support. It's been pretty amazing. Also, people that I know that technology, there's some fear with it, or the use of using these sorts of tools. People in the past that have been resistant to any sort of technology or I don't know, using Canvas or using Zoom, that have stepped up and said, you know what, rolled up their sleeves and said, you know what, I'm going to do this. So let's practice. And, I messed up, but I think I got it. Just the fact that people have really challenged themselves and pushed themselves, it's just awesome. It really is. Again, a lot of people that just surprised me, that I know that this was kind of a scary thing. They have done it, and they have done it with patience and grace, and just really a lot of student-centered thinking. It's been wonderful. 7, understand a big help to people outside of College of Public Health. Again, this is my team, my community. Let me go back. So I've worked alone. I've been the lone instructional designer at the College of Public Health for 5 years. Because Elizabeth's been on the team for 90 days. And so from the first month I started here, I reached out and leaned on people because I don't know everything. I don't want to know everything. That's what other people are for. So leaning on other people for support and resources and hugs and high fives and commiseration, that's essential, and that's been just part of how I operate from day one, probably from my whole life. I've always sort of I'm a questioner, so I always crowdsource and ask a million questions. What would you do? What did you do? How did this work for you? I think that's just the nature of who I am. This is question 7 is weird. You're asking me to brag here, right? Okay. I don't, being a help to people outside of the College of Public Health is just, again, something I think that everyone does. Everyone in my building has helped someone outside of their building. So I don't see what I have done as anything more unique than what other people have done. And it's not that it's not special, but it's just, it's essential. Again, I think it's silly to think that all the expertise is in one room or one office or one building or one college or one, state or, country, right? It's everywhere. So you have to reach out and leverage those resources. I want to be the best instructional designer I can be, and I cannot do that without learning from others. And the only way I'm going to access those others is by reaching out. So, I don't know. It's a weird question. In 25 years, when you look back at this time, how do you think you'll explain it to a young relative? Oh, I love that. A young relative, right? I'm trying to envision my 4-year-old nephew. We'll say that. Well, certainly this will be an important part of history, right? So we'll say not OSU, but we will talk about the pandemic. We will talk about this disease in the way that we've talked about other major world events. And I will probably say, back in that time, I worked as part of a team that helped students learn. I don't know, Tom, that sounds like garbage. I'm trying to think about what I would say. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't have an answer for that. I guess I would probably just say something like, it was a really challenging time. I'm so lucky that I had the people and the resources around me to do my job well. I think we did a really good job. And I hope out of all this, I can see, and I'm already hearing on social media how this is sparking an interest in the field of public health, and that that from this experience, people take note of the study of public health and all of its different fields, and that we grow public health practitioners, and that the world has more of them because they had access to information and education and online courses and degrees and programs, which we don't have a fully online program yet, but we will in the next couple years. So I hope I can tell my nephew or younger people that the world is full of public health practitioners and people that know how to study and treat and manage and handle these sorts of outbreaks. And I got to be part of that story. And it was a hard time, but I had some great people along the way that helped me do that. I don't know. That sounds so cheesy. Okay, let me know if this works. If not, we can meet in person and do this. I don't know. I just thought I'd try this. Okay. Thanks for reaching out. I really appreciate it. Okay. Take care. Bye.